Welcome everyone to today's webinar. I'm Terry Swack, the founder and CEO of Sustainable Minds, and I couldn't be more excited to share today's announcement and demo with you. This is something that's been in the works literally for 6 years as we have been tracking the product transparency space, building out the catalog, and meeting with hundreds and hundreds of manufacturers, architects, contractors, real estate owners to understand what's driving the demand for transparency and the criticality of reducing the impact of the built environment on the planet and human health. So to set the context for today, if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to play the intro video because that will clearly set the context, and then we'll dive into the rest of the content. So as I mentioned, we have been designing and building Project Builder and Library for a number of years, and we've had this vision since the beginning, but it's really been a long evolution of product development. You know, we launched the Transparency Catalog in 2016 to shine the light on building product manufacturers, making the investment, taking the risk, doing the hard work of being transparent and responding to the market through the creation of environmental product declarations and/or material ingredient disclosures. When we launched the Transparency Catalog, there were only 350 brands anywhere in the world making products for the North American market where they had invested in transparency. Today, you'll see in the catalog, we have over 2,080 companies and industry associations. And you know, the evolution really began to spike in 2017, 2018. But today we're adding about 20 new brands a month who for the first time are publishing one or both types of disclosures. So it's exciting to see the group of folks who are on the call today. Some of you are already our customers and have an activated listing in the Transparency Catalog, and some of you are new but actually have free listings in the Transparency Catalog. So first we're going to talk about how manufacturers get visibility today in the catalog so that you can see how this transition from a place for people to come search and find brands and products with transparency information now is turning into a very powerful product selection, specification, and workflow tool that finally will enable building product manufacturers to get their products into projects, templates, office masters, I mean, well beyond what's even possible today with getting your products into office master specifications. You'll see how we're now enabling, again, architecture firms, construction companies, real estate owners to create project type templates that they'll be able to use and reuse again and again, which means your products have the ability to get into these reusable projects, templates, and libraries again and again. So I'm going to show you some stats and get to a demo. And I'm going to focus on, I'm going to tell you the story that we're telling to the building construction industry, because that's really what informed what we've built for them because of the challenges and the gaps in workflows today. So as you know, because we are the first and only product data platform that has aggregated all EPDs from all program operators in North America, because we ourselves are a program operator, so we have the knowledge of PCRs and EPDs. We do LCA projects, material ingredient projects, but now with this, real focus on embodied carbon, decarbonization, we have really capitalized on the fact that we've always had every EPD and material ingredient disclosure and have always designed it to be a specification tool by organizing everything by master format and offering the ability to select by section and brand, or just section, just division, right up front, so people can get to the products that they are looking for immediately. Our commitment to the industry is that they will find every single brand who has invested, again, in one or both types of product transparency, organized by master format, continually updated. That's our commitment. They're going to find everybody. The selection is not limited. Today, as I mentioned, we have over 2,080 manufacturers and industry organizations across 28 master format divisions and 1,260 sections. There really isn't any type of project that could be built today where a user would not be able to find a manufacturer and their products with transparency information. So the way you're probably wondering, how do you have all these manufacturers? So we have a really fantastic data team that has grown and evolved. Since we launched the catalog, we have methods for collecting the EPD content from all of the program operators, none of whom have APIs, but we do have APIs on the material ingredient side with ILFI Declare, with the HPDC, the Health Product Declaration Collaborative, Cradle to Cradle. And so combined, our data team is continually adding, maintaining, updating content as it's published. And again, we organize it all by master format. So when we add a new company that maybe just published an HPD or an EPD the month before, we add a free listing. And in the free listing, and again, because it's our commitment to the industry, they will find every brand. So what they're going to get in that free listing is the name of the company. This is actually a link to the company's website. And we tell the user this brand has invested in EPDs and material ingredient disclosures, but you're going to have to visit the company's website to find the products that are covered by the disclosures below. And we give the opportunity for the manufacturer, we prompt the manufacturer, hey, add your products. And there's a link that you can click here if you're a manufacturer that will pop up a pre-populated email that tells us, hey, it's me, I'm emailing you from my listing, I'd like to learn more. We also prompt architecture, engineers, contractors, and owners to contact the manufacturer and let them know that it will be easier for them to get the products into projects if they actually add the products. We don't spam the manufacturer. The person sending the email has to know somebody at that company to put the email address in, but again, it's pre-populated. It says they're sending it from the manufacturer's listing in the transparency catalog. Check it out, why it's valuable. But in the table, the user will see all of the EPDs and any material ingredient disclosure that the manufacturer has. Again, we don't know the products that the disclosures cover, so the name that shows up in this column is the name on the disclosure. But we know that frequently a single disclosure will cover many products. And also because there are differences in the way disclosures get named, we can't always tell if a disclosure and an EPD are one and the same, because the name may not be exactly the same, so we can't assume it's for the same product. So when a manufacturer activates its listing, there's essentially, it transforms the page into like a microsite of the manufacturer's website, but through the lens of product transparency. So this turns into the logo. It's a link to the manufacturer's website. There's an introductory statement. And at the core of the listing is now this transformed product table, which is a matrix. The horizontal axis is the master format section that the products are in, and the vertical axis is the name of the product, and this links to the manufacturer's product page on their website. We think that that should be the single source of truth. We don't believe in manufacturers managing a lot of content about their products someplace else. And then we correlate to that product the EPD and the material ingredient disclosures the manufacturer has created for that product. These links go directly to those disclosures. And what we also do is we pull information from the results of those disclosures, as well as the validity date, into the table so that a manufacturer, so that anyone using the catalog can literally in a glance see what products are available, whether it has an EPD, yes or no, the regionality, whether they have a material ingredient disclosure, yes or no, which type, and the results of that material assessment. We have recently added additional content to the listing table to allow a manufacturer to display all of the types of sustainability documentation that they have for their products. But because we will always stay focused on environmental performance and material health, all the other attributes that existed before LEED version 4 are single attribute disclosures, like low emitting materials, sourcing of raw materials, and there's a handful of others. And so what we're doing is we're telling the user the additional types of sustainability documentation the manufacturer has invested in for these products. And then we give them one of 3 instructions about where to go get those additional documents. The first option we'll always take is if the manufacturer has designed their website so that all of the disclosures are linked to the product page, then this instruction will say, go to the product page links above to find this additional documentation. So that's kind of ideal, right? For the user to be able to go to that one place and find everything they need. The second place is if the manufacturer's website hasn't been updated in that way. Most manufacturers will have a downloads page where the user will be able to go to that downloads page and find all of the PDFs of all the different types of documentation the manufacturer has. And so that instruction will link to that page to say, go here to find all of that. And again, we list the types of documentation. And then the last option, if the manufacturer doesn't have their website well organized and they've invested in mindful materials, then we'll send them to the mindful materials portal. And this link will already be on the pre-filtered search parameters so that the user goes right to the manufacturer's products and mindful materials to find those additional disclosures. So now a user through the transparency catalog will be able to find all of the transparency and sustainability documentation a manufacturer has created for its products. Now there's a whole bunch of other stuff at play in the listing. This contact form, which we added a couple of years ago, where it allows the manufacturer two ways to have folks contact them. On the right side of the form is a standard way that a user can input the information that they need help with and email it directly to you, the owner of this listing. And on the left side is customized content where the manufacturer is able to provide direct access to people or resources, or people and resources that will help users quickly get answers to questions about additional transparency, specifications, dealer locators, how to source a rep, any other type of documentation that supports products and transparency can be linked from here. Now, we've had an integration with and a relationship with Building Transparency in the EC3 tool since they were in alpha, and we worked with them to simplify the results, the comparative results in the EC3 tool, and turned it into a visual method of letting the user see in a glance the relative comparative results of how the EPD for their products compares to other EPDs of similar products, with 20th percentile, the lowest 20th percentile being the best. So by adding that information into the EPD side of the column, it just simplifies users being able to find lower embodied carbon products. And in fact, the link will take the user directly into the EC3 tool to that digital EPD where they can start building projects or running comparisons. If the user has come in through the EC3 tool, they're going to find on every digital EPD a link to the manufacturer's listing in the transparency catalog that essentially connects the last mile for them to be able to contact manufacturers, see more products, get more help, et cetera, et cetera. So now that we know that people are actively looking for lower embodied carbon products, we've taken it one step further to use not only the visual mechanism to be able to see visually lower embodied carbon products, but now we have a filter where a user might simply apply that filter at the beginning of their search to see only products that have lower embodied carbon comparative results, and they can set the threshold that they like. So that's making it super easy to just focus on lower embodied carbon if that's important to them. We also recently, through our partnership with HPDC and in their release of version 2.3 of the HPD, which came out last summer, that screens against additional lists. Perkins and Will precautionary list is one of the additional lists. Perkins and Will came to us about a year and a half ago and asked, hey, when the HPD finishes version 2.3, and given that you have the API, would you be able to add a filter that would allow us to find just products that don't contain any of the ingredients on our precautionary list? So we said, yes, we can do that. And last month we deployed this feature. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in the coming weeks. We haven't really promoted it too much yet. And so again, users can use the filters in the catalog to find just the kinds of products, the types of disclosures that they're looking for that meet the selection criteria that they are trying to establish for their organizations, whether it's to achieve the goals of any of the pledges or letters that they've signed, or just to have a framework that's followable by people in their firm. And this is a filter we had earlier, the ability to find optimized EPDs if people are looking for EPDs to fulfill the LEED 4.1 option 2 embodied carbon credit. Our analytics show that since the beginning of the year, I just pulled this today, this particular credit filter is by far the most popular filter that people use when they're looking at rating system filters. And the optimized EPD is the most popular disclosure type that people are looking for, because people are looking for brands that are doing things better. Actual performance matters, making the effort matters. So when all of this comes together in the catalog and people are searching in a master format section, the brands that have the most content, meaning featured brands, have even more content than optimized activated listings, which have more content than free listings. So they're displayed in the order of providing more content to users. So featured brands always show up first, followed by standard listings, followed by free listings. But what we know for sure is that people select and specify products with disclosures, not just disclosures. So very quickly, we have a case study, and I'm going to get to the demo because it's taken a long time on kind of setting this up. But we will often, for manufacturers, help them understand this evaluation between the visibility an activated listing gets versus a free listing by even just comparing a tiny company to a large company. And what it shows is that time and time again, the tiny company that has added their products and activated their listing gets literally 5 to 50 times more visibility than their largest competitor, who may have 10 times more disclosures, but not the same content. And so I just pulled this screenshot today that the top 20 brands that show up most frequently in search results from the beginning of the year are all activated brands. Only 2 are not, and both have a lot of disclosures, and I have no explanation for why. For example, Assa Abloy gets so much visibility other than the fact that they have just a ton of disclosures. All right, so the challenges for building product folks in the building industry is that it's really difficult to make comparative informed decisions with disclosures. It's not easy to research, find and share product options. It's not easy to build and maintain internal digital libraries. It's difficult for project teams to convey to the spec writers the design intent and make sure the brands they want actually get into the project. Pre-construction managers have a lot of difficulty sourcing products with transparency information that are part of now what's being required. The subs don't really want to help because it just is time and money. And particularly vertically integrated construction companies where everyone is in the same firm really, really want to have access to all the same information, all in the same place. And you guys, building product manufacturers, I've always felt like your hands are kind of tied with the rules that you have to play by when you call on A&D firms. You have to have a lunch and learn. You don't never know if a decision maker is going to show up. You're spending money to be there. You have a lot of expertise that you can share to help them learn more about your product category and write a better spec. You don't know when to call on a firm, whether they're actually considering your products actively in a project. And really, you're hoping to get your products into their office masters so that you can hopefully, get considered every time they're doing a project that would call for your products. But, those guys at the end of the day don't make purchase decisions. They're influencers, and they're having just as hard a time trying to make sure the products they want get into projects. So all of that insight, all of those needs have gone into Project Builder and Library to operationalize workflow and to make it possible for them to work collaboratively in a way that includes you in the process from the beginning. If you check out the press release, these are the features that we listed. And again, this deck will also be available. So the paradigm for Project Builder and Library is that all the work happens in projects, and libraries are where products are archived. So projects, we use the term in a very general way, are containers for products. But again, it's where all of the discussion, the collaboration, the sharing, additional documentation, all of that stuff happens in a project. And then it can be saved into a user's individual favorite product library or the organization's. So a project can be a specific building, it could be a room type, it could be a collection of products, it could be a master format section where the people in the firm who are experts on those products can maintain just those products, so people know we're only going to use those. We don't have to worry about it. The experts have already selected those. So in the last few minutes, I'm just going to jump into the demo. Here I am. I've logged into my Project Builder account. Here's my dashboard, and it's showing me recently active projects that I've been working on with others, as well as recently added favorite products to libraries. We have available to manufacturers this ability to create manufacturers templates for project types where you can curate the products that you have that you're recommending for a specific project type. It's a template, and users can take those templates and pull them into their own projects, or they can even use your template to start a new project. So that's kind of an exciting option. I'm going to take you to my project library, and in this case, because I'm working in an office account, we're going to offer individual accounts and office accounts. My personal library and the office library are one and the same for now. And so you can see I've started to create a variety of different types of projects, including, this is an example of a master format section where I've only included Perkins and Will precautionary list free materials. And maybe that's something my firm has stipulated that for all of our products, or particularly in this category, we're going to only use those types of materials to help meet our materials pledge commitments. Or here in Division 7, we only want to use 20th percentile products, or maybe we have broader parameters because we're not going to find something in the 20th percentile every time, but at least we're going to make it easy to find the ones that are in the 20th percentile across that division and go from there. This is where users are going to find manufacturers, templates. So users can add products from any place they like. They can go into a project. You can see here's project setup. There's a bunch of information about the project. Here's the products now that are in the project. You can see I've only started to add one type of product. So if I want to add products, I can go here to add products, and I can go into the transparency catalog. I can add from my favorites. I can add from other projects. But this is how seamless it is. So it just pulls up the catalog. I can go to any master format section. I can go to that section or not. I can apply any rating systems filters that I like. I'm just looking for EPDs. Maybe I want to apply any of these other filters, but now I want to do research and add these products to my project. So maybe I'm just picking someone. So here's Natural Stone. They have an activated listing. Here's their free manufacturers. So no product information, but their EPDs. I'm going to add those to the project. So you can see now I've easily added those products. I can see in a glance that Natural Stone has EPDs and material ingredient disclosures. I can identify whether it's going to be the basis of design, if substitutions are allowed. I can start inviting, copy a project. I can start inviting people to a project to collaborate with me. Here I can invite Amber. She's an admin. Or I can invite Maddie as an editor. I can send her a note about the project. Go ahead and send the invite. And now we can actually start communicating about the product. And as we do that, whatever I say, that's going to get sent to her. She can comment. And the idea is that I can invite as many people inside my organization as I like to participate in the project. And I can invite as many people outside the project. I might at this point say, you know what, I want to invite my contractor, I want to invite my owner, my client, I want to invite my sub. So anyone outside the company that I want to invite, I can invite them. They can only comment. They can view the project, they can comment. They can't change anything because you don't really want people outside your company to be changing stuff without you knowing. And so the subscription model, this will be a subscription model. Organizations will buy subscriptions for users who they want to be able to have create projects, edit projects, curate libraries. So actively hands-on be working. They're going to buy subscriptions for, but again, everyone in the company can be in Project Builder and Library working as commenters where they're not changing anything, but they can collaborate and help on projects. All of the content that gets saved to a product in a project, when it gets added to a library, which is as simple as doing this, like I love this product, I want to add it to my library. It's as simple as that. And all of the content that gets created with the product gets saved in the library. So all the research, all the additional documentation, anything that's uploaded, any pricing, manufacturers, they're going to be able to contact you from within the product. And this is again why the contact form is super important. Like, hey, I need some help. Help me with this project. I'm working on it now. Or, hey, I'm going to call Sarah or Chuck right now because I'm working on this project. I'm looking at your product. I need help now. And they have their choice of how they contact you. Anyway, we're a little bit over our time. This is only a preview. There's so much more we'll be sharing with folks, but I strongly encourage that if you're a manufacturer and you're on this call, please reach out to us to learn more about activating your listing. This is going to be going live this summer, and we have a lot of organizations in the private beta using it now. And so, you know, this tool is increasingly valuable to the industry the more manufacturers add their products and their contact information. And this tool becomes increasingly valuable to you when you add your products and your contact information. So with that, I'm going to hope everyone has a great day. We look forward to speaking with you. And for those of you who are our customers and who are on the call, we will be reaching out to you guys within the next few weeks to make sure your folks who are responsible for the catalog in your organization are briefed on what's coming. And by the way, if you have a listing now, this does not cost you any additional money. This is part of what you're going to get for being already a customer who has activated their listing in the transparency catalog. So have a great day and thanks for your time.